Hello guys, so in this video you are going to see me how is that I take a completed rig that I already made and how can I take this rig and destroy it to achieve this new design that I made for this dude. So one of the main things or one of the main challenges in this short film is that I used to start. I was like, I want a new short film, I want to create a new short film. This is the idea that I have. A robot fighting against a giant chihuahua. Amazing. And then I was like, okay, you know what if I can make this even more specific? What if the robot is actually an air fryer? And I was like, wait, let's make this even more specific. What if the three-headed chihuahua is not just a monster but it's also a mutant? Amazing. Okay, let's go more specific. What if this city, instead of just being like a random city, a generic city, what if this is a city full of punks? So everyone who lives in this city, everyone is super punk, and all of them are rebels, all of them are super stoned, all of them are using drugs 24/7, are super tired, like almost like zombies, punk, mutants. But I start building this world around this idea as I was creating this short film. Now imagine that I finish all my rigs, I finished the main character rig, who is Ramon, and while I was progressing on the short film, I was rewriting the short film. I was coming up with new ideas on how to improve the story, how to make this even more specific and more entertainment. And that's what happened now. I'm with this rig, with an old design, with a super generic design, but with a world that I already made out of all of this simple idea. And now what I'm going to do is take this rig, take this new sketch that I did here, which I use as inspiration, music videos that I love. Like for example, this character here, this person here, is from a Green Day video, Jesus of Suburbia, and I grabbed a lot of screenshots from that video, also videos from Papa Roach, from Avril Lavigne, and I was like, okay, how is that punk look? How is that they wear their clothes? Like, how can I implement all of these cool details from the clothes into the designs, and how can I simplify those things? For example, here, look at this belt here. All of these little details are cool, like are super nice, but I cannot play with that in animation. And there is a way in which, for the style that I'm working on right now, I can simplify, and that's how I came up with this. So after doing this research, after putting together a mood board, after having an idea clear of what I want, what if the how the world that I'm creating is looking, now I can come back and revisit what I already did. Even though I already rigged this character, I'm always like, okay, you know what? If there's a way in which I can improve this, let's do it. Let's do it. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to revisit this character. I'm going to destroy this rig just to just to update the design. So yeah, and after that, I'm going to change the colors because I hate the colors of this dude. And then just trying to, as I update the design, updating also the character. As I update the rig, I will update also the character design. So I do both at the same time. Is that the correct way of working on these projects? No, absolutely not. This is a mess. This is a completely mess, and everything should be planned since the beginning, like from the story and all of that. But because I'm doing whatever I want here in this project, and because this is my own project, I am allowing myself to just mess up, even improve my project, improve my ideas, and just revisit things as I want. But keep moving forward, keep moving forward. It's not like, oh, you know what? I'm changing the design. I'm also changing the design on the pneumatic. I'm changing also the design on here and here and here and here. And then again, no. You know what? If I want to update the design, how can I update the design? The rig don't care about what I did on the pneumatic and just move forward to animation and fix all of those things in animation version. And let's see how will that work. And the thing is like that, just keep moving forward and not being like, ew, no way, I screw up here. I cannot. I have to go back. I have to delay 1 month. No, we're just working like crazy. So, um, okay. So what I'm going to do is take this dude here, which I already traced on this other dude here in Photoshop to came up with this design. So I'm not redrawing this dude again. I'm just taking this, lowering the opacity, and on top of this dude, starting to update the rig. The rig. And you know, that's another advantage of working with cutout rigs. I remember when I was working on Dogshot, one of my mentors, he was like, dude, why the duck have four eyes? Like the monster duck have four eyes. And I'm like, haha, yeah, because it's like a monster. He was like, no. But why the duck have four eyes if if it doesn't have four eyes on the on when it's a normal dog? Like, what is the reason it have four eyes? And I'm because like because I like how it looks super monstrous, like he's like a monster with all of those things. It was like, no, dude, that's super distracting, and people will start asking questions about it, like why. And if you don't know how to respond to that why, it's like, dude, uh, just I'm not. He was super open of like, dude, it's your film, do whatever you want, but consider that. And I was like, oh, dude, okay, okay, okay. And it took me a while to consider that until I was like, you know what? Okay, that's it. That's it. I cannot. I didn't have any reason or any way of justifying like it was a good change. It was just me saying like, yeah, it's because I just like the four eyes. But if that idea of just having those four eyes is supporting the story in some way, amazing. But if it becomes only a distraction, then it's good to listen to other people in those things, because it's only going to improve the project. It's only going to improve the project. And for the case of this dude, it's like, okay, nice. I came up with an idea of a world building idea for this short film. Let's rework on the characters to make them fit this world that I'm creating. And I have fun creating the world. And sometimes I feel like sometimes, and that's the thing. A friend of mine just likes to say like, yeah, likes the idea of like there are bad ideas out there. But I don't feel there's bad ideas out there. I just feel like there's just ideas, and depends on every person and how they take those ideas and make them entertainment. And first, I just started with an idea, neither bad, neither good. And then as I start exploring this idea, I start making the idea even more entertainment, entertaining. and uh, and that's the thing. That's the thing. The project is always evolving, is always improving, and it's good to have people around you to listen or just to ask questions like, hey, what do you think about this? And the cool thing about animation is that the cool thing about art, I think, because even in music too, like anyone can give you feedback, believe it or not. Because imagine the amount of people that have listened music. Like people have listened music for their entire life, so they know something about music, even though they don't know that a technical aspect of music. Dude, those people already have listened a lot of hours of music. Maybe not the same for animation. I don't consider there's the same amount of people that listens to music, the same amount that people that listens to animation, that listens to that watches animation. But still, there's people watch movies, so they already know something. Like they can already have an instinct about what things are working and what are not working. And it's cool to be open to this feedback and just showing anyone and saying like, hey, is there something here that you feel confusing? Is there anything here that is a little bit weird for you? And maybe they cannot talk to you in the same language as you talk in terms of animation or technical aspects of the art form, but they will be able to say like, hey dude, I don't understand why on this part on your short film the dog turns into the mutant dog turns into a normal dog. How is that they turn into a normal dog? And believe it or not, that's a comment that I receive a lot for this short film. It's like, how is the system or how is that these dogs transformed into from a mutant dog into a normal chihuahua? And if I have to explain that, it's not working. If I have to explain the idea, it's not working. So 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 yeah, it's of great help just asking and not expecting technical answers, but just thoughts and opinions from more people, and that will just make your piece better. Of course, there's always a lot of discernment. I like to think about it like what one of my mentors used to tell me, like you have to have your bullshit detector on. So when you have to have your bullshit detector, so you know to whom to listen to, or to what to listen to, because maybe, yeah, maybe many people will have different ways of maybe maybe the changes that for one people might be a priority, for other will not be a priority. Or so it's important to be able to just discern and to prioritize what is the things that you will modify, that you will change at these points, and what are the things that, you know what, maybe it's not necessary to do that, I can just skip that. So yeah, so yes, this is the cool part about this. And be also be true, be honest, to be honest with what we think we want and what we like. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Oop. See, so the thing is, like, the amazing thing about working with the rigs is that I can just come here and modify the lines and all of that, and that will modify the lines for on all the other poses too. But I still have to rework on the other poses just to find out things that might not be working right now. But other than that, oh yeah, and I was mentioning the example of the duck because when wow, I went in another different direction. I was mentioning that example because once my mentor told me that, and I had to just update this duck design from having four eyes into having just two eyes. I was like, oh, dude, okay, I can do that. I just have to go to all the scenes that I already animate and disable the node or disable the layer that is that it represents the eye of the duck. I did that super fast, and now all the dogs and all the duck monster on all the scenes already are already updated are already updated, so I don't have to like maybe draw them again. If I were doing traditional animation, I was just disabling node, and that's it. And that's it. And that's the same thing that I'm doing here. It's not only a node, it's like the design, but still, for example, these other see, because I cloned the ears, the modifications that I did on one ear are going to stay on the other ear too. But still, I'll have to revisit each view, so so I make sure everything is working properly. And for example, here on the eye, I'll need to add an underlay line thing that represents that this dude is super tight. What is this? Is the master controller? Yeah, it's the master controller of the eye. So here I will under eye line. Oof, amazing. I added this. Oof. Thanks to the Henry from the past that thought about this. Amazing. I need to add a piercing here. So nose, nostrils. I can add a nose piercing here. Now this nose, you know what? We'll have a nose master peg, which is going to carry also this nostril. And apart from that, I will add the piercing, which the piercing is going to be also attached to this nose. So I created this backdrop which contains the nose and the mouth, and I will create inside of this backdrop nose piercing. And same thing, for example, this nose piercing, I'm not sure if this is going to be a good decision, because maybe this could be super distracting or could create, like, I don't know, different tangents, or will give me just more work. So if I don't like it anymore during the process, I will just turn them off, and that's it. That's it. But it's just taking a decision and move forward with that decision. Bloop. So I'm building, most of my design is built out of basic shapes, and then I take those basic shapes and then start breaking. I start breaking them, so are simple to work with. Wait, there you go. Wait. There you go. I was remembering that I used to tell my mom, like, Mom, I want a nose piercing like those balls that they have here. And she was like, No, you're crazy. I don't know. I don't know how painful that piercing is. There you go. I remember I'm like super, super, super weak for piercings, dude. When I pierced my ears, The woman that pierced my ears was like, "Hey, dude, you normally when you're bleeding, you bleed a lot." I'm like, "No, why?" Oh, she had a lot of papers here on my in my ear. It was like full of blood. Oh shit! I didn't know I bleed a lot. I those piercings on the ears took me a lot of time to heal, and I was like, I will not go through this again. This was super uncomfortable. But yeah, those are cool things that I remember when I'm working on this dude. Yeah, stuff like this. I'm not picky. You know what? Let's break this. Let's copy this and paste here. Duplicate black. Amazing. Oh wait, I screw up here. Maybe you can just take this out of here. Copy and paste here, and then boop, rotate. Taka. There you go. Then I can merge these two. Awesome. So I have the exact same shape on one side and the other one. Then I can put the pivot point there and see we have a piercing here. Now I want this side of the piercing to be hidden by the nose. So I'm going to bring the nose up to the front, but this part of the color, I will remove this part of the color so I can reveal this. And instead of making like crazy node systems to put this part of the piercing up front, I'm like, I'm moving the color art a little bit up, so it looks like that. Awesome. Now the mouth. Here I have to fix here also the hair, which I might create a new shape, because if that heart shape is going to be consistent in all the scenes, the best thing to do will be to just create that shape and put deformers on top of that shape. Amazing, right? And this is after many times just screwing up different rigs. Eventually it's like you get used to like knowing I get used to patterns or to mistakes, and then I just stop making those mistakes. No, wait, like for example, I didn't have to add too many dots here yet. So 1 point here, 1 point here, up, break, break, then open, break, more, open, and then book, and then open, and then I put deformers around this shape. And you know what? I can make this shape, instead of ending into a rounded corner, I'll take this and make whoop, super sharp corner. Look at this beautifulness here. And then one secret that I learned from here, just messing around, is that if I go here to line thickness and then I disable, if I add enable this preserve line thickness, and then I change this pencil line smoothness to 0 and this to 100, when I put the formers on top of this shape, on top of this pointy thing, the deformers will not smooth that corner and will keep it super straight instead of making them rounded. And if you see the start of this rig on the old videos, you'll see that I was struggling a lot because every sharp corner that I made was super rounded or become smooth once I start putting deformers, and I was losing my head on that. It's like no way. But now I got it. So then here I'm going to color this black. And now, wait, now the pivot point, I'll put it here. Does this have a deformer? Amazing, because I'm going to connect this part of the hair with this part of the hair, and now I'm going to also auto patch both. Henry, what are you talking about? And I'm like, wait, you'll see, you'll see. So I create a display here to isolate this part of the hair, and just look at that part and start using my weighted deformers to create the deformers on top of this part. I'm putting 3 points deformer on this rounded part so I have more control and more flexibility if I have to animate this or distort this in crazy perspective shots. So 3 points here and 2 points where I'm not going to move this thing at all. So here too, maybe here too, to connect super smooth with this side part. Whoop. And then another one here. Whoop. So this is me updating the rig, the design, everything on the road. Oopsie. hold Alt to connect here, and there you go. Falling from now. You see? There you go. And to avoid hearing myself on these videos, I'm listening to music. There you go. Amazing. And then we come here, transformation, parented peg. We make sure this is in parented peg, so every time that I move this shape, it moves with the deformers and it doesn't let the deformers behind. Amazing English, Henry. Wow. And I'm here like, where's this part? Hair side. This is hair cutter. This is hair. This, we don't need this anymore. Get out of here. So this is part of the old rig. We don't need anymore. And this is part of the new rig. The hair side. Now the okay, see? Okay, no worries. I'll fix that later. I was thinking only on the 3/4 view, but no problem. I have everything under control. So look at this. So here I have the hair. The hair have the color or the color, the line art on the line art, and I have anything else? No. So I'm going to create here nodes. Line art, oopsie, line art, color art, and auto patch. The auto patch is our magic tool that will help us merge the two shapes, this side part of the hair and the top part of the hair together. So I don't have that line overlapping here, that I don't have this line overlapping here. You see this line overlapping the solid color of the hair here, but it's only one shape between those two shapes of the hair. Amazing. So I have the line art, color art, and blah 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 blah. Then I'll grab and copy all of this the same to this other one and connect these to the main composite color and color, except for the auto patch. And what I'm going to say right now is that the auto patch of this hair side part of the hair is going to cut the line art of my main hair, and the auto patch of my main hair will cut the line of the side part of the hair. And see, it's not working at all. It's not working at all. And you will ask me like, Henry, but why? And I'm like, I have no idea. So if I come here to the line, okay, see, I have I didn't separate the color art and line art on the side part of the hair. But now that I did, it's still not working. It's still not working, but we are going to find out why. So we have line art, color art. Actually, let's paint this with the hair color. And I'm like just here being on front of my rig and being like, why? Why is not working? But yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Because the line art and the line art, the outer patch of this is cutting, the outer patch of this is cutting. But maybe I should approach this without a composite. This is pass through. What if I put bitmap? No. Why is not working? What if I move this behind like this? Whoop, no. What if I move this to the front? Whoop. Oh yeah, man. When I move this to the front, now it's working. Now we are not seeing that line. But I don't want to move this to the front because it's cutting the line of my head. Let's double check that. Let's troubleshoot this live. So get out of here for a second. See? Shouldn't be doing that. And I like the green color of this thing. Wait, let's focus. Okay. How can we fix that thing? I feel like let's get rid of this part of the hair right now. Let's connect this directly to these two here. Now, okay, yeah. So if I approach this thing without a composite, it's working there. See, it's working there. And then I can connect. Now I have to also change the deformer of this thing because I need 3 points here to connect this line with this line super smooth. So I'm cutting this part. I'm coming here to my display node 2 to isolate that part, and then on top of this isolated part, I'm going to add a deformer. So I'm going to come here, add a deformer, parented peg, and then I'm going to add 3 points on each side. Here at the top, let's add 3 points on each part. Yeah, it'll make everything just a little bit more smooth. Boop, 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 boop. And then I'm coming here and just cleaning these deformers a bit more so everything is clean, you know? Everything is treated very well. Actually, I have no idea why these have to be clean, but I'll just clean them and follow each deformer and point at each deformer to follow the shape. There you go. It's like the Matrix, you know. I've never leave these deformers like super messy and these things. I don't know what was happening, but because everyone does the same way, and I've only seen rigs being done this way, I assume it's correct. But maybe if I do that, maybe I'll break the matrix of Toon Boom. Okay, wait. Now, perfect. Now I'm taking this shape, moving this shape like that, and start creating these perfect heart shape. And now is auto patching or is perfectly merging these two shapes without showing the line art of each one of this. See, that's a, and it's the same thing, dude. That's the same thing. I end up sick of the same thing after rigging more than four characters for this short film. I was like, dude, it's actually the same for all the rigs. It's just understanding how the auto patch work. It's just understanding how the auto patch work. That's like most of everything that you need to know about Toon Boom rigging. That's it. And yep, there you go. And see, for example, I like the way that these eyebrows are tapering towards this corner, which is something that I didn't made or design here in this on this redesign that I made, but here on the rig it was a happy accident, and I was like, okay, actually I like it more like just being one thickness on the eye. You see those amazing mistakes that just happened. Okay, let's focus. We have the hair. Now we need the other part of the hair. So it actually works here in the front view. So for the front view, I'll open this shape. I'll do a draw over though. So this is very accurate and not just like free-handed. Maybe this could be something like this, something like this. I will not spend too much time on the deformers here because I know, I know that I'm going to change many things. Puck. And actually, I can open this part of the head here so I can have an interesting volume. No, I regret that. Let's keep it like that. I will draw on top of this dude eventually. The eyebrows, I want to keep the eyebrows straight. Super neutral pose here. Same for this dude, but you know, I think I can copy this eyebrow from here to here. Amazing, yes. I want this part of the eyes up. And the nose. Now flipping, I'm trying to keep the same volumes. Flipping. Because I'm not that picky in how these shapes will turn perfectly on the turnaround, because I'll grab everything and just destroy and move around for to create custom poses on my animation. I'm not really using the simple poses or just the NPC poses of my turnaround, but I'm tweaking every single part. Every single part. I can grab and copy and paste this ear here so I have the same shape, silhouette, amazing. I need more volume here so I can just pop this up like this. This is the mouth. I'll take care of that later. I don't like the shape that I'm having here for the nose and the piercing, the relationship between these two things, but that's something that I'll figure out later. And the reason why I went to the front view is because I'm going to grab this side part of the hair and clone that part. I'll clone this. Wait, hair side. What is that? Okay, this is the MP. Okay, so I'm grabbing these nodes, clone selected node drawing blah blah only, and I connecting this here. I'm bringing all of these nodes here too, back, and using the same logic here. It's like, okay, all of this is going to be connected to the composite B, except from the auto patch, and this auto patch here is going to cut my hair line art. So I need these two parts of the hair, the side part of the hair to cut my line art, but I also want the auto patch of the main hair to cut that one. So I'm not auto patching these two at all because they have nothing to do between each other, but I'm using these two to attack this hair here and to cut that big piece. Amazing. Why is not appearing? Okay, I have to grab this part here and flipping this to the other side. So I'm taking this in, flip. See, it's on the other side. And now I want to tell Toon Boom like, hey, dude, grab that flip thing that I did and keep it there. So I'm, oopsie. So I'm going to call here static transformation book, and plug it here, black. And then I'm baking me at parent transformation. And what I'm saying is like, bake, save that new position forever. And I delete or get rid of this peg that comes that I used to flip. And when I delete it, now it saved this transformation, this bake position that I did. Then I'm using this master peg for the hair sides just to move both if I need to do so at any time. And then of course it's here, but the only thing that I have to do is move this out of the head of the shape because I am telling my rig like, hey, all the hair parts of this rig I need to be revealed inside of the shape of the head of this dude. Amazing. So yeah, that's it. That's how I update the head of this dude. Let's on this video, let's update the head and the face of this dude, and then I'll move forward with the body in another video. So for the front view, I'll figure it out you later. I also have to update this line here on the on the ear, and then look, this part of the hair will come like this. Will come like this, and maybe this shape is coming a little bit towards the front. This also comes like this. I'll draw on top of this also just to polish these shapes. And even though I'm not using these poses to animate, because I'm always taking these poses, breaking them, and just creating more appealing poses for the animation process, I still want to have a turnaround that looks decent, or at least that have appealing shapes on it. So I know how can I use those shapes, or how these shapes will look on each view when I'm animating. Boop. I want this to be neutral. Like, no, my coffee is getting cold. So this thing could be something like this. Whoops. And this comes like this. I love the nose of this dude, like super like this. Awesome. Okay, the bottom part is here. So see how I'm using the interface, this part of the interface as a plumb line. Plumb line in live drawing is when you're putting like lines around your model to just track proportions and stuff. So the same theory I'm trying to apply here, but using the the rig interface as a way of measuring those or tracking those lines for the shape. Here it looks like dumb. But yeah, I'll change the design. I'll draw instead of moving this thing around until I get something that I like. It's even faster if I just draw on top of these two to find what I want to find. Also, we have the side, and then we have the three-quarter back. Dude, everything was destroyed, but no worries. Be happy. Boom, boom, boom. This comes like this. This comes like this. Amazing. Is this auto patching? Oh, this is the other part of the hair. Every time that I don't need that part of the hair, I just drag it out of the shape of the head, and that will hide that part immediately. Awesome. Yeah, also I want you to be straight. I can copy and paste from the other, but I don't want to. Awesome. Now I can put this a little bit to the back, and this eye goes back, back, back. Amazing. The nose will come something like this. Amazing. And the piercing, I can Stretch this person a bit like that. Make this back, 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 back. Awesome. And there you go. We have the back view, and we have this part here. Okay, so here you see how I have the heart shape here, but on the other side is super. Oops. On the other part is just a straight thing here. That's it. That's all I need to create this. No. But you know what? We're never seeing the back view of this dude, so I'm not wasting time here, and I'm going to just create a new shape. Give me a new shape, and then I'm using this thing here to create a new shape for the back part of the hair, which is going to be something like this. Super simple shape, just a triangular part here. Maybe I can even just get rid of this, copy this here, pound this here, this shape comes here, back, 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 back. Then I'm grabbing this, rotate, flip, merge, combine, cut, combine again, and then I am cleaning a bit some parts around here. Oopsie. There you go, that's okay. As mentioned, I'm not picky here because we're never seeing this back view, and because I'm making a short film, not a movie, I don't need, or a show, I don't need to think about all of these crazy angles that I am never, ever, ever using. And I also have to reveal the piercings on this side, but that's something that we are going to do eventually. But first, let's do the draw overs. Let's do the draw overs. Of course, let me add the granitos. I don't know how you say that in English, but I'll add here the inside of the face. Yeah, inside of the face. Actually, let me Google to see how that thing. What's the name of that thing? Google Translator, traductor de Google. Maybe I'll teach you Spanish, guys. English. No, English to Spanish, Spanish to English. Granos. Grain? No, granitos. Pimples. Oh, pimples. That's pimples. Pimples. Yes, pimple. Blister containing purulent fluid. A pimple or cyst is a kind of comedor that results from excess sebum and dead skin cells getting trapped in the pores of the skin. Wow. Amazing. We learned something new today. You see, I have a pimple here. I have a pimple there. I don't know why I'm still having pimples. Okay. Okay, we're putting this, we're connecting this around here. I don't care. Creating a composite because we are having different pimples, or maybe I can have all the pimples on one layer. Let's have right pimples and left pimples. So I'm going to put right pimples. And then I'm grabbing this tool. And it's going to be just circles. Yeah. Simplify. Or you know what? Instead of just guessing, I can go and look for some reference. And the first character that came to my mind that have pimples was the name of this dude from SpongeBob. This pickle, SpongeBob pickle, SpongeBob pickle. Gaming. I think his name is Gaming. You get these dudes. He have no pinkles here. I remember he had pinkles. Or maybe it was just a custom frame that they were showing his pinkles. Nope. I can find it. Hi, Kevin. Okay. I don't care. Let's just keep them as circles. Someone hacked my Spotify. So yeah, this is the process. I look a lot of references, and I try not to just I try to avoid just coming up with my imagination, because why? If I'm trying to problem solve something, let's see how other people already problem solve that thing, dude. And so I can focus on other cool things from the mission process, like animating. There you go. Big, medium, small. Big, medium, small. need a peg here. I need also to connect this with the face peg, and then I'll have to create a master peg for this, right? Pimples, and then put it here. I need to put like a rotation thing here. Where are you? Here. And there you go. Those are the pimples. Let's see how this looks in the render view. It's okay. I don't care. If I don't like them, I'll just turn. If I don't like them, I'll do this. Boop. Done. Awesome. Now the left pimples. Someone is hacking my Spotify, and I think it's my brother. That's the thing when you are sharing your Spotify account with your brothers. That's what happened. So I'll be like, get out of here now. Losing control now. Okay, L pimples. And then connecting this here back. Then connecting this, whoopsie. Then bringing the same pimples here to here and just changing the size to have different variety of these things and order. Awesome, how this looks. It looks so bad, gross, and distracting. You know what? Get out of here. I don't want the pimples anymore. Let's do the drawovers. Drawovers, just to polish this design, and this is how I'm going to approach this. First of all, the colors of these two suck so much. You'll see how I steal colors later. I'll make a video of how I come up with colors for these two later. Awesome. Okay, let's start drawing over on these two, just to make this character appealing and not super awful. So first of all, volumes. Let me make this line thicker. So we have the volume here of the jaw, and we have this volume of the head. Center line here. Now let me track here the things so this makes sense. We have the volume of here of the jaw. We have this circular shape here. The nose is connected on top of this volume, so this will be something like this. Amazing. Now the head here is something like this. The head volume. This is the side part of the head. We're coming like this. And this is one shape like this for the head. See? Amazing. And then if we are tracking this, if we're tracking this shape, I think I can add more volumes here to the side. So I'm creating this shape here. So I'm having some volume pushing on those directions here. And just copy and pasting this. This is super sketchy, super rough, and on top of this, all those super fast tile. Now the ears shapes push towards this side because this is the expansors that are pushing there. So I want to keep the same feeling here, but maybe I can push it this way like this. So I'm seeing the expansor that way. So the expansors here are like here like this, and here is something like this. So I'm trying to find ways of rotating these shapes so it also favors the shape of the head. So I want to have this negative space here between the head and the ears. So this dude looks like have like huge ears because of the expansors. Awesome. The hair will come something like this. The center part of the hair will be around here, so that's something that I will update on my three-quarter pose. There you go. Maybe this video will be like designing and rigging a head in Toon Boom Harmony. That's how I come up with ideas. I'm just working and then finding a way of how can I package this thing that I was working on into a video. There you go. And then boop 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 boop. Side part. Side part. Again, this volume here. This volume here. Pa pa pam. The side. Center. Center will be something like this. Whoop. See, the center will be something like this. And grabbing the same shape, just moving this here, maybe connecting to this at center. And I have to decide, I need this ear to be on inside of this shape of the head or outside, inside. That's a decision. Let's go. Let's move forward with that decision. So here we're having this lower part of the head, comes like this, connected to this. And the center line comes from somewhere over here. And this point here, this compressing point towards the inside is here. So I'm going to track that here too. So it's not going up. So it's staying around here, see? Awesome. And then we're having something like this. Amazing. Now the top part of this nose is something like this. So I'm just grabbing this, tack, 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 moving this to the front. So I have the nose that will come around here. Awesome. So I'm just tracking my volumes here right now, and then I will clean these, or maybe just, yeah, I'll clean this a bit so I can redesign on top of this head and then update the rig. Awesome. We have here the thing. Let's go to the next view. Something like this. Pa, 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 pam. Now, volumes again. We have the volume of this part of the skull, which I think I'm losing volume here. So I'm going to grab the 3/4 front, which is the same, should be the same volumes as the 3/4 back. And then I'm just using the same volume that I have here and invert all the shapes around. Like for example, I'm using the same silhouette, and now this is going to be the side part. And this is going to be the back part. This is my center line. So the back part of the hair will connect here towards that center line. And this ear is going to flip towards the other direction, and now it's going to be something like this. Yeah, and maybe I can overlap that part here. And then here we can have the nose, so we have this silhouette on this part. Boop, boop. Which is decent. And I can have the piercing come like this, and then the mouth come like this. But I will focus on the features and how to place the features on top of this, on top of the volume of this dude on another video. So already this is too long. And then I can connect this with the flow of the body. But here at least, I'm already finding how all of these shapes will move. So this could be something like this. Guys, I can believe this. The other day, I was talking with a friend, actually yesterday, and I was like, we were talking about what I'm doing right now and everything, and we were talking about Patreon, and I went to my Patreon, which is just starting, and I saw like I have one member, dude, and I was like, that's so crazy, dude. I didn't know how to member, and that was really cool. And now, right now, like while working, sometimes I'm thinking like, okay, what are all the things that I have to do what are all the things that I have to do in the day? And I was like, fuck, of course, I have to write a message to this to this first Patreon member, just to be like, hey, dude, you're the first one. And I'm like, hello. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like if all of these first supporters, I will try to make super how can you say it, customized things for them, and to see what they how can I help them, so, and also how can they help me build this Patreon so it actually works for more people. So yeah, and then I grab this, and then I flip this, and then I grab this, wait, grab this, and then poop. And this is the same thing. The only difference is that I'm taking all of these out of here except for the center line, and what I'm going to do is connect this back part of the connect that part of the hair with this center line, and there you go. So first thing that I did is tracking the volumes. I mean, because what I'm doing right now is a craziness, which is that I'm designing and rigging at the same time. So the first thing that I'm check out right now is the volumes. Now on top of that, I'm going to design, and I'm going to do a super rough tie down of the head, which I'm going to track all the shapes. I'm going to also design the mouth, how they look open, closed, and then this third thing that I'm going to do is revisit the rig and pose and update the rig. But before all of this, we did the step zero. The step zero was like, hey, I need to update this rig. So I brought the new design here. I put it on top, and then I start tracing with the rig. So I use the rig, and then I start posing the rig. So I start posing the rig, and while posing the rig with these new shapes, I am able to draw on top. So draw overs. I'm able to draw on top and use that pose that I use here as a template. So I don't have like a blank canvas or a white canvas to work out of nothing. I already have something. I already have the volumes. I already have the puppet to use and to work on top of this to refine and update the design as I want. In this process here, I did that. I rigged the pose. And then I took that pose, and then I start drawing the volumes on top. And I did some updates here too. And what I'm going to do in the next video is design on top of this rough sketch that I did and putting the new design on top. And on top of this new design, I will update the final rig. And then in future videos, I'm going to grab all of this and start, I'm going to grab this and take this to Photoshop to start testing colors. So I'll start looking for colors and then go back to the rig and update all of those colors. Is this the correct way to proceed? I don't know. No, I don't recommend. I don't recommend like going like in this type of order, or just approaching projects in this super random way. But because it's my project and because I am building the story or refining the story as I'm working on the characters, because I move forward. I'm not waiting until I have everything perfect to start. I'm just moving forward and refining and improving as I move forward. And this is what happens. Sometimes I just have to go back, destroy a rig, and do all of this crazy stuff just to achieve what I want. But still, it's just like keep moving forward, and not just stopping or being like, no, I will have to change everything. No, go for it. So, see you in the next video. Bye. Boop.